guessing games are over as we lead into the matches. We have a Xianpao and Zamazenta, as I thought. You know, good duo together, very powerful duo. And now facing up against a Farigiraf, of course, and a Lunala.
So, a great position for this Xianpao and Alex
yes,
side.
Absolutely.
Now, this is something that we noted off mic, but no dark move other than Sucker Punch on this Xianpao. It's Ice Spinner, Sucker Punch, Taunt, and Protect. So in order for the Xianpao to hit Lunala super effectively, the Lunala also has to be clicking an attack.
Which is not uncommon, right? We only have 3 moves on this thing that are basically attacks, and no,
exactly.
We have Wide Guard, but no Protect, right? So they're gonna be clicking an attack eventually, as Taunt is gonna force them into attacking. Wow, no Wide Guard here, so that means we're gonna be seeing Body Press go into Farigiraf, not get a knockout. Meteor Beam's gonna do a little something here.
That's really interesting targeting on that turn 1 with the Taunt. You would think that Taunt would be better utilized than the Supergraph and stuff on the prior turns, but instead choosing just to shut down the ability to Wide Guard from this Lunala as the Body Press, no defense boost on the Supergraph or the inside. It has the Electric Seed available to it, but hasn't activated because no terrain is on the field. So doing a lot of damage, but Alex really just allowed Trickroom to go up there, and now the ball is really in his court to figure out how he's going to manage these next few turns. Xianpao already at 1 HP on his Focus Sash. Zamazenta not able to do all that much damage to a Lunala, especially with Shadow Shield still intact. And then of course the Farigiraf stopping any Sucker Punches.
There's no more Sucker. I was just about to bring that up because now we can't even click that option. There is no Dark type going into that move now. I mean, you guarantee that they won't be going for a move, as here it comes. Helping Hand is going to take something out. Most likely Zamazenta, if we're going for a move, Gaia Beam. How much damage is this going to do? I'm actually kind of worried. I'm not very close, but not going to be a knockout here. Wow, Heavy Slam tickled. Lunala, not going to do too much at all. But we do clear out the Farigiraf, so we do have Sucker Punch locked on again.
Yeah, it's a really big swing into turn 2 there. I'm really thinking that the +1 Helping Hand boosts for Moonguy's Beam are going to be enough to one-hit KO this opposing Zamazenta, but showing how bulky Alex's Zamazenta is to survive that. Didn't look like it was necessarily a damage roll either. He was still surviving with a decent bit of HP. But now you're still in that position where you've got truly low health Pokemon, and you do have Sucker Punch online, like you mentioned.
Yep.
Lunala, if it attacks, likely will have to burn its Terastallization into the Fairy type to avoid being hit super effectively by a Sucker Punch. Although, what we're seeing on Aiden's side as well, you do have the option to Sucker Punch the Sucker Punch, assuming your Urshifu is going to move before the Xianpao, which typically, based on their base speed stats, would be the case in Trick Room.
Now, looking at Urshifu, usually you invest in a lot of speed, but guess what? We have Trick Room up, so what are we going to be doing here? We could go for, like, which is why we do see a switch out here going into a Mundus, but Sucker Punch not going to meet the mark? Okay, because we did have that switch out. Moonguy's Beam going to make it into Zamazenta. That should get a knockout and reposition ourselves here.
Yeah, a nice defensive play there from Alex, predicting the Sucker Punch going into the Xianpao slots. You switch that out, don't take any damage, and get now to a point where you can redirect attacks in future turns with your Amoonguss that in Trick Room is really thriving.
Yeah,
it's going to be moving before pretty much everything on Aiden's side. It just really comes down to how well Alex can manage these next couple of turns and get his 1 HP Xianpao and what is presumably a Kyogre as the last Pokemon into position to win the end of this game.
All I can think about right now is what could have been if we didn't taunt turn 1. Like, we could have pressured so much more damage, even probably gotten rid of Farigiraf with Ice Spinner combination, right? But I don't know, like, I guess we're still in a good position right now, so we can look ahead. Sucker Punch is threatening, but we also have to deal with the Sucker Punch coming from Urshifu on the other side. But we could Rage Powder here too, right? That's why we have Amoonguss?
Yes, but that is where the Terra Grass on Aiden's side does really come in handy. I think we're going to see that right now, as this version will be able to bypass the Rage Powder using this Terastallization. Not necessarily offensively or defensively, but just using it as the counter punch to your opponent's counter punch. Getting a Sucker Punch off freely, bringing Alex down to his final 2 Pokemon.
did click forward. That's a good shot into this Lunala. Gonna turn it off right now. Not gonna take any damage for it. And, you know, this isn't champion spore, so that's not a turn 2 wake up guaranteed by 30%. Or so we're gonna have to deal with this for a couple of turns for sure.
Yeah, crucially, after Lunala takes that first turn of sleep, it still is just at this point, a 1 in 3
Yes.
chance for it to wake up on turn 2. Hopeful, of course, that for Aiden's side that it can wake up here, but we still have one more turn of Trick Room.
Well, I think it's one more turn of Trick Room, but this isn't the worst position to be in with Kyogre here, right? We can go for a massive water spout. We can even single target Lunala instead. Here comes the tech. Did we target into this slot though?
I'd imagine
Pollen Puff.
Yeah, it'd be some sort of double up, the Pollen Puff plus Water Spout potentially to just get as much damage as possible. But Lunala wakes up after its first turn. Maybe this is
This is champions. Now there was a shadow buff or a shadow drop of a DLC. Like, yeah, we patched it, guys. Sorry.
but good for Alex, covering for the 1-turn wake up from Lunala, clicking Origin Pulse, not the not the water spout that would be terribly weakened, but unfortunately, there's a reason that
Origin
a lot of characters
Pulse.
don't like clicking Origin Pulse. It's 85% accurate. Misses right there, and now you have your Terra Grass version that is, base speed-wise, faster than the opposing Kyogre. We'll have to see the speed interaction play out on this turn, but can't be Rage Powdered away by Amoonguss. Does have the Focus Sash, even if you're able to land a critical hit with the Hydro Pump, for example. And does not care about Protects. It looks like a pretty clear KO onto the Kyogre slot from this Dark Side Urshifu. I mean, really Grass type version.
Yeah, now because of the time. But yeah, you know what? Honestly, it's just a tough situation. Origin Pulse is such a powerful move, but back in my day, we used to call that focus miss. 85%, 85% don't mean a whole lot. That 25 come up a lot. It's not a good situation to be in. And now, just that one miss, we won't get another chance as Kyogre clears the field. And now, it looks like maybe I want this one too. Oh no, he hangs on, Oh, Sport again! Yeah, we're gonna try one more time. Put this thing back to sleep. Maybe we won't take damage from this spot again, but Urshifu's still primed to go, and I don't think you can take on both these Pokemon by yourself, Amoonguss.
No, and if you are Alex, you were just hoping for that confirmation before the Pokemon on Aiden's side. It was a pretty difficult position to navigate out of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once the Urshifu field is able to rest on this into a grass type, it just really ruins kind of your Amoonguss's counterplay, which is something that's pretty unique. I don't know if I've seen that all that often, the grass type Terra.
Not a lot, actually. But it is a really good typing to go into, especially with those extra handy resistances to a lot of the common threats. Everyone's playing Kyogre, everyone's playing Rain, everyone's got some kind of water in their team. So it's not bad, I like it. It's really good.
If you identify that Amoonguss is a big issue to your team, or just Rage Powder in general is a big issue for your team,
let's not deal with it.
Exactly, it becomes a very strong counterplay that you have. But for Alex, speaking of counterplay, I think it really is just being more proactive on those first turns.
Absolutely.
We had kind of mentioned that first turn just felt disastrous.
Yes. Yes.
Given the play that Aiden made, you had the opportunity there to either click Ice Spinner plus Body Press into the Frigoraph and pick up the KO. Because the Frigoraph didn't have its defense boosted from the Electric Seed, you had the opportunity to taunt the Frigoraph to prevent Trick Room from going up, which ended up being pretty disastrous in the early and mid-game of Game 1. It's the Chien-Pao on lead feels very safe from Alex's end. There's really nothing that loves to see a Chien-Pao on the field immediately. It's just about extracting as much value out of that Pokemon as possible, and then setting up for your big pieces, your Kyogre, your Zamazenta potentially, or something that we didn't see in Game 1, but I think is very strong for Alex's side, is that Landers Incarnate. These kinds of Pokemon that can just clean up these end games, where, I see on Aiden's side 3 Pokemon that are weak to ground type moves, and
it looks pretty good. That's what I was thinking.
Really, it's not faster than Landers. It's gonna take a lot of damage anyway. with a very low base special defense for Urshifu, it might as well be weak to Brute Power from Landorus.
And we do see an adjustment here. We're leading off this time with Tornadus and Kyogre versus the Miraidon and, of course, Farigiraf here. Farigiraf, a fan favorite. I love Farigiraf. I've always loved Referent from Gen 2, and Meganium. But this isn't Champions. We shouldn't.
Can't get ahead of ourselves.
But hey, man, it's as good. It's always cool to see older Pokemon get newer evolutions or forms to work with,
Yeah, that's we are going to see a pretty aggressive play from Aiden's side, and this is where the speed interaction is going to be really interesting.
Yes.
How these Pokemon are trained. Because there is, if you're, say, the maximum speed on Choice Scarf Miraidon, you will pretty consistently outspeed most opposing Kyogres.
Absolutely.
However, if you're at the maximum speed on a Kyogre with a speed boost of nature, in Tailwind, you can make it so that a Scarf Miraidon never outspeeds you.
Yeah.
So it's really going to come down to how these Pokemon are trained, and that's something that really only these two trainers know.
However, there's one thing that's going to prevent everything. Like, that's why I see the switch here. Oh, wait, you know what? Maybe that would have worked, actually. Hold on. Maybe Tailwind would have been the right play.
Yeah, the potential just Tailwind Water Spout. Just
Like, there's no Lunala in play. There's no Wide Guard. I would have done it. Hold on. Lock that in.
We are instead going to see Alex making this mid-ground play, preserving the Tailwind for later in the game.
No way. No way. No way. These Pokemon are so agile. They just moving through everything. Trick Room up now, finally. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Good thing they didn't go for Tailwind turn 1 because this would have been disastrous.
Wow, I was so excited to see how much damage those moves were going to do.
No, they're not doing any damage, apparently.
and really, because, of course, the double miss from Origin Pulse is disastrous. Not getting any damage on that first turn if you're Alex is horrible. But you do at least force this kind of defensive play from, was the Miraidon that is Choice Scarf. It's going to be the moving last of all the Pokemon on the field. As Farigiraf will move first, another Origin Pulse from Kyogre, and it will miss this Farigiraf once again. You do at least break Shadow Shield and Sandsear Storm.
That's good damage. That's really good damage. You do miss out a little bit on the one Pokemon, but that's fine because we're able to get a little bit of coverage thanks to our Landorus here.
Yeah, and, it would have been really nice if this Farigiraf had been hit by either one of those two Origin Pulses.
Yeah, whatever.
but instead, we're in a position now, this is the 1 in 1,000 timeline that we're in which the Farigiraf is still around on the field, has not fainted yet, it's at about half of its health. The Kyogre also got the special defense drop from Psychic on that last turn, so just about every small chance of random number generation has
occurred. That's literally occurred.
While Psychic comes out of the Kyogre doing a whole lot more damage after that special defense drop. And a Meteor Beam, I'm interested to see where this one will go.
Into the Protect.
If it's into the Kyogre, that's a pretty free KO on the inside that Alex is not going to take advantage of.
Oh, he got it!
Is.
Nice. And there goes Kyogre. And now we don't even have to worry about weather. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, and nothing on Aiden's team really dislikes the rain necessarily. There are no fire types, no fire type moves.
No Ho-Ohs.
No Ho-Ohs in this one. But just, it's a really difficult position if you're Alex. You almost wanted the Trick Room. You at least weren't upset about the Trick Room being established when the Scarf Miraidon was on the field still.
Yep.
But now that Aiden has gotten to bring the Miraidon to safety and has gotten to one Miraidon already, it's just such a difficult position for Alex to get out of to either accelerate the game onto Trick Room to allow your players to attack or as
Wow, that's a fucking knockout.
It's not something you see all that often. Is
Not too much, no.
just +1 on the Moonguy's beam and up to 1 hit KO the opposing Landorus. We are now down to a pretty low health Amoonguss and a Tornadus, and in case we did forget, there is still a Maridon in the back.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
inside.
I could even see something like we can deny Bleakman Storm here with wide guard, so it's kind of like hard for you to click that 60 grenade, which means we can just get free damage off whenever we want. And it's not a great situation here at all.
Yeah, but on the plus side for Alex, you do still have the Amoonguss. It is going to move first on this coming turn. The Trick Room's still up, so you can at least take the KO and work around with another Polygon.
Yeah, yeah.
But once again, it really is just what could have been presented in the game. If any distortion multiples has had hit, but Aiden deciding, no, I don't think I want you to take any KOs this turn.
You know what? Will this actually find the knockout after this? Wow, no way! Oh, it does resist here, and we get a knockout here.
Exactly, turning the bug type weakness into a bug type resistance. Taking the KO on Amoonguss, and now giving Granola a turn to attack. It's just going to be, once again, +1 Moongeist beam. We saw how much damage it did to Tornado's brother last turn, and plenty of damage here as well as Bleakman Storm will come out and finally pick up a couple of KOs for Alex. But I think it's right as the turn curve will end, and now the Choice Scarf Maridon gets to just come back on the field. I think any move.
Yeah,
well, okay.
It really is.
Not any move.
I mean,
we've already seen hasn't been the most consistent thing in the world.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is a rough position, too, because you have two very healthy Pokemon coming right into play. And one of them covers your weakness. So, I think that's pretty GG to me. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. One of them not only sets up a type of terrain that makes itself, about 1.7 times stronger than
yeah.
but also it has a move that when it hits super effectively, which it will this turn, does double the damage into this target. There might have been a chance.
There might have been a chance.
I don't know. But no, just a commanding game. And a commanding set from Aiden Lee in taking control, going to 2-0 here at Balance Patch today. Of course, there are a lot of ways that things could have played out.
Like 80,000 misses.
Yeah. there a lot of small 10 and 15% chances that reared their head in game 2, but certainly a very strong game plan here and just taking advantage of the opportunities given to you.
Absolutely. But hey, if you're at home and you're enjoying what you're watching, don't worry, there's more coming. We're going to be going into round 3. If you love RNG, you're in the right place. But yes, stay tuned. We'll be back.